You need not bother about notes. What all I am going to discuss is there. I have written notes already. I have searched, is there in my mail. I will give you a hard copy. And can notes in charge. Any bullet points I will give. You need not bother about notes. I got it last year. I have prepared. So I am searching for that. I got it. Bullet points you just take, important points and ethics in ancient India or ethics in ancient Indian literature. Ethics in ancient India or ethics in ancient Indian literature. In the Indian tradition, we have a term called Karma Phala Siddhanta. In the Indian tradition, we have a term called Karma Phala Siddhanta. Karma Phala Siddhanta means one will face the consequences of his actions. We are going to face the consequences of our actions. If you do a good deed, you will get good back. If you do a bad deed, you will get bad back. Papam and Punyam. If you do papam, you will get papam back. If you do punyam, you will get punyam back. One has to face his destiny. One has to face his destiny. This is called Karma Phala Siddhanta. In the entire India, in our household, in most of the affairs, we discuss about this karma and phala. We discuss about this karma and phala. We believe in this. And our motherland is considered as Karma Bhumi. The land of good virtues, the land of good deeds, the land of good people. That is the land of Karma Bhumi. In our Mandukopanishad, we have a slogan, Satyameva Jayate. In our Mandukopanishad, we have a slogan, Satyameva Jayate. Truth alone trumps. Only truth will become victorious at the end. If you see all the ancient Indian texts, epics and literature, ultimately the victory belongs to the honest and truthful people. No way in the end dishonesty won the battle. If you see the entire literature in India, at the end, trump of good over the evil. Trump of good over the evil. Good will suppress the evil. If you say anything, this is called Satyameva Jayate. Ultimately, the truth will be victorious. That is there in the Indian blood. Atma Deepo Bhava. Atma Deepo Bhava. This is one of the great statements in the Indian literature. Atma Deepo Bhava. One of my friends went to interview 10 years back. 8 years back story. She went to UP Agarwal board, which is a tough board. Sometimes you need not answer all the questions in the interview. Even if you give some best answers, you may be top. Her name is Samatha. She was asked a question. What do you mean by Atma Deepo Bhava? What is the relevance of this Atma Deepo Bhava in the administration? As a person, you are not important. But your deeds, your achievements, and your welfare programs, your help towards the society will last long forever. This is the interpretation of Atma Deepo Bhava in administration. As a person, you might not be that relevant, but your achievements, your deeds, your good things towards the society will last long. This is called Atma Deepo Bhava. Your soul will flicker forever. The literal meaning of the sentence is, as a person, you might not exist forever, but your good deeds and virtues exist forever. As a person, you might not exist forever, but your good deeds and virtues will exist forever. For example, Gandhi as a person have died long back. Gandhi as a person have died long back. But Gandhi as a relevant ideology, Gandhi's relevance and Gandhigiri is more important today. That is called Atma Deepo Bhava. In Buddhism, as you all know, Buddhism and Jainism, along with Hinduism, along with Christianity and Islam, are the great religions in the world and in India. In Buddhism we have Appo Deepo Bhava. Appo Deepo Bhava. In Buddhism we have Appo Deepo Bhava. What do you mean by this Appo Deepo Bhava? It means when Buddha is going for Mahaparinirvana, when Buddha is going to stop this worldly appearance, one of his disciples in his worried state approached Buddha and asked, Buddha, you are going for Mahaparinirvana. I did not get enlightened. You have to help me for enlightenment. Leaving me, you are going back to your own self, Mahaparinirvana. What about me? He asked Buddha. And Buddha told, somebody cannot enlighten you. Nobody can teach you about enlightenment, how to get enlightenment. You be a learner for yourself. You be an emancipator for yourself. You be a soul for yourself. You create your own enlightenment. This is called Appo Deepo Bhava. This is called Appo Deepo Bhava. One should get his own enlightenment. No one should always teach, no one can always teach ethical path. No one should always teach, no one can always propagate ethical path. One should get certain virtues. One should inculcate certain virtues. One should be a light to himself. One should be a light to himself. This is called Appo Deepo Bhava in Buddhism. This is called Appo Deepo Bhava in Buddhism. In ancient Indian texts, basically we have 4 Purusharthas. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. 4 Purusharthas. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Dharma means following righteous path. Artha means acquiring wealth. Artha means acquiring wealth. Kama means having sensual pleasure. Having sensual pleasure. Moksha means achieving salvation. Moksha means achieving salvation. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. In the modern world, we are giving more preference. In the modern world, we are giving more preference to Artha and Kama than Dharma and Moksha. We are more about wealth, more about material and sensual pleasures, and less about righteous path, and less about salvation. Moksha does not mean heavenly abode. It means achieving the highest stage of human life, salvation in human life. In the modern world, we are more worried about Artha and Kama and less worried about Dharma and Moksha. There are 4 Purusharthas, 4 essence of human life. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. And in the Indian literature, one of the best texts from which we can learn lessons for administration, even in ethics answers and case studies, we have to use certain terminology. The essence from the first thing which you have to learn is Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita and ethics. The first topic in ancient Indian literature is Bhagavad Gita and ethics. Have you read Bhagavad Gita any time? Ever followed it any time? Bhagavad Gita is such a great text where Mahatma Gandhi used to read it regularly. Most of the important thinkers followed it. But unfortunately, nowadays if somebody dies, we are listening to Bhagavad Gita. Whenever some Bhagavad Gita comes slokas, we think that something happened to somebody. But Bhagavad Gita is a greatest text for an administrator. It gives a very big guidelines in administration. I am not going to teach you Bhagavad Gita because this is ethics class which is meant to write only UPSC exam. So we are going to discuss to what extent we can replicate the verses of Bhagavad Gita, the essence of Bhagavad Gita in ethics and sometimes in essay. To this extent we will discuss. Mahatma Gandhi told, when I am in the midst of tragedy, when I am in the midst of tragedy, when I feel that I cannot change the situation, when I feel that I cannot change the situation, I will take my recourse in Bhagavad Gita. I will take my recourse in Bhagavad Gita. Then I can smile in the midst of tragedies. That means when man becomes sorrowful, when he is full of tragedies, for every problem in life, we can get a solution from Bhagavad Gita. We will understand nothing is permanent, and we will understand various lessons from Bhagavad Gita, what type of mindset one should possess while dealing with a situation in life. Even Balagangadhar Tilak wrote a book called Gita Rahasya. Balagangadhar Tilak wrote a book called Gita Rahasya. He tried to explain the essence of Bhagavad Gita. He tried to explain the essence of Bhagavad Gita. Basically, as you all know, Bhagavad Gita is a direction given by Sri Krishna to Arjuna. It was a guideline or lecture given by Sri Krishna to Arjuna when Arjuna wanted to get away from Mahabharata Yuddha. Sri Krishna chose to be a charioteer to Arjuna's Radha, and after seeing his teacher, uncles, brothers and all his relatives on the opposite side, Arjuna got a question. Against whom I have to fight? For what I have to fight? Why I should fight? And better to stop this war instead of fighting. If at all somebody gets killed, who is getting killed? After all, they are all my own people. And Arjuna wanted to get away from the war, wanted to be a recluse from the war. In that perspective, Krishna spoke to Arjuna, and the essence was Bhagavad Gita. The essence was Bhagavad Gita. Here, though the context was Kurukshetra war, the message given in Bhagavad Gita is useful for all of us in our ethics axis. Krishna told to Arjuna that Karma Yoga is always better than Karma Sannyasa. Karma Yoga is always better than Karma Sannyasa. That is, action is always better than inaction. Action is always better than inaction. Karma Yoga is always better than Karma Sannyasa. A real hero in life will not run away from battlefield. He should be ready to face challenges. A real hero in life, he should not run away from life. He should be ready to face challenges, because the emperor, the administrator, have a special task to protect the people at large. Arjuna is going for Yuddha not to win our war, not just to win our war, but to uplift Dharma. When you are working for Dharma, when you are working for righteous cause, the opponent might be your friend, might be your brother, might be your teacher. You need not bother. You should not bother. No nepotism, no favoritism when you are uplifting Dharma. When you are uplifting Dharma, when you try to protect Dharma, never bother about any type of passions and emotions, because you are doing Dharma Yuddha. You are doing Dharma Yuddha. You are fighting for a righteous cause. You are fighting for a righteous cause. When you are working for Dharma, you should not run away. And you are Loka Sangraha. Loka Sangraha means you are there to protect the people. You are there to protect the people. A person who was destined to be Loka Sangraha, a person who wanted to protect the people, should not choose to be a recluse, to be a hermit. At any cost, he should accept the challenges. In any case, you should face the battlefield. Then Krishna told to Arjuna, if you win the war, you will become an emperor. If you win the war, you will become an emperor. If you lose the war, you will become a martyr. If you win the war, you will become an emperor. If you lose the war, you will become a martyr. If you run away from the war, you will be like an escapist from your duty. If you win the war, you will become an emperor. If you lose the war, you will become a martyr. If you win the war, you will become a Chakravarti. If you lose the war, you will go for Veera Maranam. If you run away, will your populace will excuse you? Don't it haunt you throughout your life? Temporarily you may feel relief that I am not in the battlefield. But in either way, you are great, winning or losing. But running away, even history will not excuse you. Even history will not excuse you. Either win the war or lose the war. But never escape from the war. This lesson is for administrators. Face any challenge, but never compromise with basic virtues. No wrong if you fight and fail. No wrong if you wait for a long time. But never let loose the things. Never leave away the things. Because in life, fighting is important. Every stanza of Bhagavad Gita ends with a statement. Every stanza of Bhagavad Gita ends with a statement. Therefore you fight, therefore you fight, and therefore you fight. The entire Bhagavad Gita says, men should perform his responsibility. And you have to fight. Therefore you fight, therefore you fight, and therefore you fight. And don't mean it as taking weapons and fight. Fight against injustice. Fight against evil. Fight against bad things. Fight for justice. Fight for the rights of the people. Fight for the good of the people. Therefore you fight, and therefore you have to work, and therefore you have to study. For that reason you have to make use of your all knowledge and resources. Every stanza of Bhagavad Gita ends with a statement. Therefore you fight, and therefore you fight. Bhagavad Gita says, a king, an administrator, can be a hedonist, but it should be a combination of altruism and hedonism. Hedonism means seeking pleasure in life. Altruism means selflessness in life. Hedonism means seeking pleasure in life. Altruism means selflessness in life. You can be hedonist. At the same time, you should be an altruist. So Bhagavad Gita is a combination of pleasure and selflessness. You can enjoy worldly pleasure. You can be an emperor. At the same time, you should use your responsibility, your duty, your position for the welfare of the people. It is selfless hedonism or altruistic hedonism. Bhagavad Gita preaches us selfless hedonism or altruistic hedonism. Bhagavad Gita speaks about Nishkama Karma. Bhagavad Gita speaks about Nishkama Karma. Do your duty without getting attached with the results. Do your duty without getting moved by the results. Without being unfettered and not bothering about the outcome. You should keep on doing your duty. 2 years back, in the same lecture, when I am speaking about Nishkam Karma, one of the students asked a question. In cricket match, will Dhoni or Kohli enter into the match without thinking about the result? Then how can he play the game? If we are not attached to the results, we will not get that passion to play the game at all. Here, it is not that you should not bother about results. You should be unmoved by the results. Irrespective of the results, you should keep on fighting. Because in life, the fight is important. The struggle is important always, not the results. One of the best quality of a civil servant is perseverance. In spite of obstacles, you should be steadfast in pursuing your goal. That too through constitutional methods, through legal methods, through democratic methods. If you aim at achieving something, you are tested to the maximum. Your patience will be tested. In that process, you should follow Nishkama Karma. Your duty is more important. Your perseverance is more important. Your work is more important. Whether you have given 100% to your goal is more important than the destiny which you want to reach. Because our conscience tells us how much effort we have put towards a greater cause. Nobody can question us most of the times, but our conscience will definitely tell us what type of effort we have given, what type of perseverance we have followed, what type of consistency we have maintained towards our goal. This is Nishkam Karma. Unmoved by the results. Not just not thinking about results. Without aiming at results, nobody will try or do anything in life. Results are very important part. But unmoved by the results. Not getting attached completely with the results. Your work should prove that. That is enough. That's called Nishkama Karma. Bhagavad Gita speaks about, it emphasizes on Sthita Pragnata. Arjuna made everything ready for the war. Made his entire brothers and everyone to get motivated to the war. Entered into the war. But after that, he wanted to get away from the war. Instability. If you want to become a great person, a great administrator, you should have equanimity, stability, balance. Aristotle's golden mean. You should always follow a viable, balanced path. You should not have a wavering mind. Unwavering commitment towards your path. Unwavering commitment towards your path. Called Sthita Pragnata. Krishna told to Arjuna that a great warrior will always have stability of thought. Called Sthita Pragnata. Doing something, leaving it the half done. Leaving the work half done. Aiming something, leaving the battle in between. Only cowards, timid people will do. Fickle-minded people will do. Strong people, in spite of obstacles, will maintain stability. That happens in civil services also. That's called Sthita Pragnata. And Bhagavad Gita speaks about Dharma Yuddha. It means one should fight for a just cause and one should question injustice. One should fight for a just cause, and one should be ready to fight against injustice. A great person, an administrator, and a great achiever will never stop questioning injustice. He should be ready to fight and even ready to go for sacrifice to uplift Dharma. This is called Dharma Yuddha. Bhagavad Gita is asking us to be bold. As a government servant, when you are working for the welfare of the people, you should always have empathy and helpful nature towards them. And when injustice is caused, you should be the first person to protect them. You should be the first person to protect them. You should not indulge in bad or unruly activities. For that reason, Adharma will lose at the end. Why Duryodhana lost the war? Why Kauravas, with their evil administrative practices, got defeated in the war? People expect a lot from the system. And here, there was a story. There is a parrot which loves and praised Lord Rama. Lord Rama. One day, Lord Rama went for hunting. Lord Rama's arrow went and struck the parrot and injured the parrot. Parrot have weepingly asked after injury, when somebody hurts me, I will pray Lord Rama. If Lord Rama himself hurts me, to whom I have to go and pray? If Lord Rama himself hurts me, to whom I have to go and pray? Then at the end, the world have a balance. At the end, the world have a balance. The balance is Adharma will get defeated, Dharma will prevail. Adharma will get defeated, Dharma will prevail. And even in Mahabharata, even in Bhagavad Gita, there is a mention about Satyameva Jayate. Truth alone triumphs. Dharma will be victorious. An officer should always follow Dharma Marga. He should not exploit his own people. He should not exploit his own people. Even we have the term called Atma Deepo Bhava in Bhagavad Gita. That is, our deeds are forever. Our actions are forever. That is called Atma Deepo Bhava. Bhagavad Gita also spoke about Sattvika, Rajasa and Tamasa. Bhagavad Gita also speaks about Sattvika, Rajasa and Tamasa. Sattvika means, just take down, Sattvika means deeds performed. Sattvika means deeds performed in perfect faith. Deeds performed in perfect faith by men without desiring fruits. Without desiring fruits. Without desiring fruits means the result. Rajasa means deeds performed for honor. Deeds performed for honor, glory. Deeds performed for honor, glory or prestige. Deeds performed for honor, glory or prestige. That's called Rajasa. Tamasa, T-A-M-A-S-A. Tamasa means deeds performed with foolish obsession. Foolish obsession. That's called Tamasa. Satvika, Rajasa and Tamasa. All the three words you should remain. You should be Satvika. Sometimes you can be Rajasa, but never should be Tamasa. Next subheading. Ethical values. Ethical values that civil servant should remain. I am repeating. Ethical values that civil servant should imbibe from Bhagavad Gita. Ethical values that civil servants should imbibe from Bhagavad Gita. Number 1. Public service for a supreme cause. Supreme sir. You should work for a greater good. Public service for a supreme cause. You should work for a greater good. In brackets, summum bonum. S-U-M-M-U-M. Summum space B-O-N-U-M. Summum bonum. One should be selfless. One should be selfless in doing public service. One should be selfless in doing public service. Altruism. That is altruism. Next. The aim of a civil servant is the welfare of public at large. The aim of civil servant is the welfare of public at large. Loka Sangraha. Loka Sangraha. Next. Not too much obsessed with the results. Not too much obsessed with the results. Nishkama Karma. Not too much obsessed with the results. Nishkama Karma. Avoid nepotism or favoritism in work. Avoid nepotism or favoritism in work. Next. Fight for righteous cause. Fight for righteous cause. Dharma Yuddha. Fight for righteous cause. Dharma Yuddha. Always show presence of mind. Always show presence of mind and stability of thought. Always show presence of mind and stability of thought. Sthita Pragnata. Sthita Pragnata. Okay. Here, a politician is pressurizing you to do a particular task which is not dharma. Or you pass a civil service exam, went into civil services. After seeing bad things in that, you want to get out. what would you do? Or you are in a very big operation. Finally you found out that as an IPS officer, your friend is an Naxalite, your best friend. Will you leave him? Or when you want to run away, whether you show escapist attitude? For all these questions, Bhagavad Gita is the answer. Bhagavad Gita is a solution. In case studies, in answers, you can use all the points like Nishkama Karma, Sthita Pragnata, Loka Sangraha, Dharma Yuddha, Karma Yoga is always better than Karma Sannyasa. This is Bhagavad Gita in ethics perspective. This is enough for ethics. In the ancient Indian philosophies and literatures, most of the important texts, epics, even some of the stories like Satya Harishchandra story, all these stories end up in karma, karma phala, all these concepts. But there is one philosophy which is different from the regular philosophies which ancient Indians go with. That is Charvaka philosophy or Karvaka philosophy. Charvaka philosophy or Karvaka philosophy, also called as Lokayata philosophy. Charvaka philosophy or Karvaka, Charvaka or Carvaka, Karvaka, or Lokayata philosophy, which is not a regular philosophy but which deviates from the regular philosophy, called Charvaka philosophy, also called as Lokayata philosophy. They say pleasure, hedonism is the end of life. Hedonism is the end of life. The opportunity to live life comes only once. Life is ephemeral. Life is ephemeral. Ephemeral means temporary. Heaven and hell are unproven myths. Heaven and hell are unproven myths. Life is for enjoyment. Life is for enjoyment. All material positions in the world, all material things in the world should be enjoyed by the man. There cannot be a limitation. There cannot be a limitation for material positions and sensual pleasure. A bird in the hand is better than two birds in the bush. A bird in the hand is better than two birds in the bush. Heaven and hell, reincarnation. Heaven and hell, reincarnation are unproven myths. Are unproven myths. In generally we say, when somebody dies, if he does punyam, he will go to Swargam. If he does bad deeds, evil deeds, he will be fried in the oil by Yamunda. We have these stories. Is there any proof for Yamunda except in movies? Have anybody have seen Yamunda and have told that there is a person who is frying us in the oil when we commit bad deeds? There is no evidence and no proof for that. Heaven and hell are unproven myths. In the name of these two concepts, see, this life is temporary. If you are sacrificial, go do good deeds, have a limited role in life. In the next Janma, you will be given better opportunity. Or if you do all good things, the permanent abode is Swargam, in the heaven. You will be given, you will be treated in a nice manner, all comforts will be there. Or if you do bad deeds, you will get to go to Narakam, hell, that is Lord Yama will be there. He will treat us in a bad manner. This is a story. You know why that works? To make all of us to follow virtues and sacrifices in life. Charvaka philosophy do not believe in this. They are not immoral people, but they are immoral people. Charvaka is not one thinker, a group of thinkers. They are immoral. They are neutral about value system. Not that they are against values. They don't bother. When you are pursuing your worldly goals, why should you bother? Mankind will think that sacrifice is a great virtue. But what for? What for we should sacrifice? Life comes only once. Mankind should enjoy the life to the maximum. Almost the entire modern world today follows Charvakas or Karvaka philosophy. Follows Charvaka philosophy because we all know that life is temporary. We all know that sacrifice one makes, there is no proof that we will get reincarnation again. And we want to enjoy things in life. And we will be indulged into that. And the whole youth today is a strong believer in Charvaka philosophy. But the thing is, you all should know about a syndrome called Yayati syndrome. Yayati syndrome. Yayati, Y-A-Y-A-T-I. We have a syndrome called Yayati syndrome. Before this Mahabharata Yuddha, for the Kauravas and Pandavas, even before everyone, there was a great ancestor for them at that time called Yayati. Yayati was a great emperor, very strong man. He used to rule a very big kingdom. And he has done some bad thing. Yayati was a man of flamboyance, man of a lifestyle. He wanted to enjoy in the life. He never wanted to become old. He has done some mistake, you can read in the internet, Yayati issue. Then, a Rishi have cursed him. The curse is, Yayati will become old immediately. He will become an old man. Again Yayati asked some way out, because he does not become old. Again he prayed for Rishi and asked for a way out. Rishi told, if a young man is ready to exchange his youth to you, then that young man will become old and you will become young. Rishi told to Yayati that if a young man is ready to exchange, the young man will become old and you will become young. And nobody came forward to exchange. Yayati tried and nobody came forward. Finally, Yayati's son himself came. Yayati's son himself came and ready for exchange. So Yayati became young, son became old. Yayati started enjoying worldly pleasures. Enjoying every day. There is no end for worldly things. Is there any limit for man? Is there any limit for sensual pleasure? There is no end for worldly things. Any pleasure, when you enjoy, for example, if you eat a good food, you will feel that you are contented with that. After 2 days again you are hungry. In the same way, the worldly things will not give you perpetual satisfaction, a permanent solution. The only thing which gives is the salvation in life. The salvation in life. In that context, we have a Indian philosopher and thinker and writer called Vatsayana, who wrote on various subjects, including sensual pleasures. Even in his book, he told, mankind, if they want to master various arts, knowledge, they should observe celibacy in some points of life in human destiny. It is not that we should be always after sensual pleasure. Life is something beyond that. But if you strictly believe in Charvaka philosophy, we might be enjoying every day. But at the end, we will question ourselves, what is the purpose and essence of my life? Is it my own enjoyment, or is it public welfare, which I can promote by sacrificing certain things in my life? This is a question which one has to answer. But unfortunately, we will raise this question in our life at the fag end of our life. After retirement, after 60 to 70 years of age, we will start thinking, what I have done in my life. Not for myself, but for others. Then we will question ourselves. Finally, it is fait accompli. That means everything is over by that time. At that time, if you learn what is the purpose of life, what is the purpose of learning it. In Upanishads it was said, Asatoma Satgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrutyoma Amrutagamaya. In Upanishads it was said, Asatoma Satgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrutyoma Amrutagamaya. From unreal to real, from darkness to light, from unreal to real, Asatoma Satgamaya, unreal to real, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, darkness to light, Mrutyoma Amrutangamaya, Mrutyoma Amrutangamaya, from death to immortality, from death to immortality. Here immortality does not mean I want to live forever. It means I am in bad path. Oh Lord, show me the good path. I am living the life of darkness, thinking that this life is everything and my personal happiness is everything. Oh Lord, show me the light. I am in the death stage. My deeds are only for me. Let my deeds are forever for the humanity. If I die as a person, as we all know, humans are mortals. Their deeds are immortal if they do something for the people. Their deeds are immortal if they do something for the people. That's called Mrutyoma Amrutangamaya. Only this will give ultimate satisfaction. Personal satisfaction temporarily might look very good for us. Our own enjoyment might look very good for us. But in the long run, what you do to others, what welfare mechanisms you have done, what type of sacrifices you have made, what type of achievements you got for the humanity. Take the life of Abdul Kalam. If you compare Abdul Kalam's life with Charvaka philosophy, they both are in contrast. Abdul Kalam have not amassed the wealth. He has not taken the riches. He has not used his job for making money. And Abdul Kalam, even as a President of India, followed a simple life. He came out of Rashtrapati Bhavan with small briefcases with his hands. And the entire pension he has donated for a village development. He took only 1 rupee. And Abdul Kalam was a bachelor throughout. He has no family. And he never accepted costly gifts. Even his near family visited to Rashtrapati Bhavan only once in his tenure. The entire expenditure is borne by him personally. He has not misused government money. And at the end, he died while pursuing his passion, while giving a lecture to the students in Northeast. If you see Abdul Kalam's life, is he not a contented man? Is he not a satisfied man? Is he not a successful man? Even today, he is a lesson for all of us. That means, it is not in our own enjoyment. It is not in our own materialism will get happiness. You will be judged at the end by the deeds you have done for the humanity, not by your achievements or things. Even becoming an administrator itself is not a great job. What we have done beyond that is very important. This is the counter to Charvaka philosophy or Karvaka philosophy or Lokayata philosophy. But the only philosophy which was completely different to Indian mindset, and I am not telling modern Indian mindset, basically Indian culture and Indian tolerance, Indian way of life is Charvaka philosophy, but you have to accept it because it is a reality. It is a practical thing. When you are writing an answer about materialism in the world, youth materialism, or what is permanent, what is temporary, what is the essence of human life, in that you can write Charvaka philosophy, you can write Ayati syndrome, you can write Asatoma Satgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Nrutyama Amrutangamaya. You can also write the essence of the various aspects of Charvaka philosophy, and at the same time Charvakas are not immoral people, they are immoral people. Charvakas believe in hedonism, that is pleasure, humanly pleasure in the life. That is called Charvaka philosophy or Karvaka philosophy, which is different from other philosophies. In the ancient Indian literature, we also have Buddhism and Jainism. Buddhism and Jainism. As you all know, Buddhism is a religion which do not have, they don't have caste system in that. They don't follow caste in that. Buddhism is a religion of equality, and Buddhism preaches tolerance. In fact, 4 noble truths and Ashtanga Marga. 4 noble truths and Ashtanga Marga are the great examples of a great religion called Buddhism. But unfortunately, Buddhism have a little sheen in India today. The sheen of Buddhism have faded away, but still, the ethical values of Buddhism are very important for humanity today. The ethical values in Buddhism are very important for humanity. In Jataka Kathas of Buddhism, we have many moral stories. How an excellent person should pursue the goals of his life. Even Buddha's life itself is a great example. And Buddha never left any superstitions in the mankind. In fact, he has not given an answer for the question whether the God exists. Buddha himself has not given any answer to the question regarding the existence of the God. He told noble truths. He has seen a deceased man. He has seen a dead body. After seeing all bad things in life, sorrow things in life, he questioned the purpose of life. In that perspective, he told, what is the reason for sorrow in life? Why do mankind are sorrowful? His answer is, desire is the major reason for sorrow. Desire is the major reason for the sorrow. How to conquer the sorrow? How to get away from the sorrow? If you can conquer the desire, you can conquer the sorrow. If you can get away from the desires, you can get away from the sorrows. This is Buddha's solution. 4 noble truths. What's the reason for sorrow? Desire is the reason for sorrow. How to overcome sorrow? If you overcome the desire, you can overcome the sorrow. This is Buddha's message to the mankind. Limit your desires. You will not have sorrows. And the world is temporary. You should never get attached with that. Buddha also told Ashtanga Marga. Ashtanga Marga, eightfold path. It includes many things. Right faith, right knowledge, right action, right O, don't steal. If you follow all Ashtanga Margas, there is no requirement to follow any ethics text. You will get everything under Ashtanga Marga. Even if you see Jainism, most of the Jains don't go for agriculture. You know why? They should not harm even a living creature. While plowing and doing other activities, they might harm some of the living creatures. They don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. Even in Jainism, you have Triratna. Right faith, right action, right knowledge. Triratna. Right faith, right knowledge, right action. Right faith, right knowledge, right action. And even in Jainism, we have various virtues which were being followed. In Jainism, we have various virtues which were taught. Pancha Mahavratas and Anuvratas. Pancha Mahavratas and Anuvratas. Same things like tolerance, non-violence, no greed, no exploitation, no stealing, non-stealing, no obsession. All these things are also there in Pancha Mahavratas and Anuvratas. Jainism says human beings are covered with dust particles. They are karma particles. Because of our bad deeds, we were surrounded with dust particles. Dust particles are nothing but the bad particles around human life. Because of our bad thoughts and bad deeds. One should follow Pancha Mahavratas and Anuvratas, right? Like non-killing, no theft, no expectation from others' property, following truth. If you do all these things, automatically human beings will be cleansed and the religion will be perfect and there will be peace and prosperity in the world. This is the message of Jainism. Bhagavad Gita, Buddhism, Jainism, all the ancient Indian literatures speak about Dharma, truth, ethical values. Only Charvaka philosophy wanted us to follow hedonism in life, being not bothered about value system. But still, all the perspectives you should know. The reason is, whenever you are writing case studies and answers, for example, if you get a case study, but your friend is in government job, he is getting around 40-50,000 salary. Your common friends are in outside employment. They are getting monthly 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs. Your friend came to you and told that in government we are getting less salaries, let us move on to private sector jobs. Here you should write. Personal hedonism, materialism itself will not give results. It might make you happy temporarily, but in the long run, you should lead a life of light. You should come out from darkness. Your own comforts might not make you happy. When you make public at large happy, you might be happy. Government service will not just give you the salary. It will give you a honor to work for the people. In that perspective, in that prism, you should look government service. And if you go with materialism, your own happiness, like Charvakas tell, at the end, one has to repent what he has done in his life. This way, you have to use Charvaka philosophy while writing theoretical answers or case studies. Okay, this is Indian ethics. Kindly